So tell me a little bit about yourself, Howard. Are you from the Needham area originally?
Mark, I grew up in Cranston, Rhode Island, and came to Boston University Law School, and just fell in love with Boston and decided to stay here.
And how did you end up in the town of Needham?
Yeah, well, you know, Needham's a great place to live and to work, and I moved here about 15 years ago with my family. I was working in Boston at the time as a lawyer, and wanted access to trains, and also wanted great schools with a nice background. So Needham really fit the bill.
So let's rewind a bit to college. How did you decide you wanted to become an attorney?
Well, that's Mark. Yes, a tough question. At the time, I went to Cornell undergrad because I wanted to be a veterinarian and loved biology. And through the course of events, became an econ major and put my interest in veterinary behind me. And then ultimately, you know, thought through. I'm sort of entrepreneurial as a lawyer and like business. So the practice we have is really of a small company offering legal services in sort of a prompt and professional but entrepreneurial way. And so now Goldman & Pease for many years has developed an expertise in 3 areas: real estate, litigation, and general corporate work.
What do you find most difficult about your practice?
Well, you know, it's being a small business like a lot of other business owners. You have many variables, from working with good people, employees, retaining people, making sure that the business comes in, working on efforts to market what we do, and ultimately to do quality work in a very cost-effective and prompt way. So it's a lot of variables. And most of the time they come together for us.
How is practicing law different now than it was 30 years ago?
The courts have a lot less resources, so they're requiring that our filings be more prompt, efficient, and you know, there's price point competition. I think there always has been in any product, whether it's the law product or the moving business product. And so I think at the end of the day, people look for a quality legal product at a fair price. And they want you available when they have the need. And as my father would say, you know, people call lawyers because they have problems. And so it's important to promptly get back to people and to be thoughtful when you do that and be prepared.
I hear that the amount of work, the amount of legal work that's out there has decreased. Have you found a trend in your business levels, your sales levels?
Well, Mark, you know, perhaps we're contrarians in that regard. We have a market niche. We are a relatively small, nimble firm, and we feel that we can respond to trends as they develop. In law, there's constant changes that either through new laws or through the passage of cases, case precedent. And we've been very involved with foreclosure work, either working with condominiums in lien enforcement of unpaid condo fees, or working with lenders on some defaulted situations. And also we work with a national title insurance company dealing with defective title issues that comes up a lot of times through foreclosure. So unfortunately, because of these tough times, we have positioned ourselves to deal with those issues and have developed some expertise that's timely.
What are some of the issues that didn't exist years ago? Types of law, types of cases that you had never even heard of a few years ago that you're now dealing with, maybe as a result of new legislature?
There's so many areas of law, and that we've decided to get focused on real estate, litigation, and corporate work, working with small business owners. And so within those areas, there's changes. Sometimes when we get involved with a really an end point, sort of on the edge, the cutting edge perhaps, we would bring in consultants. For example, in that jury trial that we won last year, I brought in a colleague of mine, Brian Burke, who has a tremendous trial experience in front of a jury. And so together we actually produced that trial together. So what we see is when we need help from the outside, whether it's a legislator who has information about a particular bill, we're very active with certain trade organizations within our specialty. For example, IREM and CAI, those are two groups that deal with property managers and real estate issues, and they have a national base but a local presence. And we tried to stay active at the local level. We participate in these committee meetings. We often present. We like to present materials, and we generate client updates to send to clients. So we're constantly being challenged with the changes in the law and challenging ourselves to be very much on top of it.
Tell me about your most interesting case.
We had an interesting real estate matter in Needham about 2 or 3 years ago, in the Needham Business District, which is near the 128 off and on ramp. And that dealt with taking 3 retail properties and creating a condominium, commercial condominium, and being a little creative in the use of the condominium laws to permit the existing zoning and parking restrictions to stay in place. We've had a case last year. We were involved with a personal injury case with a Needham resident that was severely injured in an auto accident, and we worked for a couple, 3 years on that case, and ultimately presented to the jury last year and got a very significant $12 million jury verdict for our Needham client.